I'm Kamala Harris, and I don't approve of this message. In fact, I kind of hate it.
When Joe and I opened the border, flooding America with tens of millions of illegal aliens, we thought voters would think we were kind and generous.
You serious?
But it turns out Trump was right. They're not sending their best.
They're not sending their best.
Turns out that they are, in fact, bringing drugs, bringing crime, bringing their rapists, and apparently they're eating the cats.
Eat the cat. Eat the cat.
But when I'm president, things will be different. I'm like an abusive boyfriend who promises to stop beating up his girlfriend if she agrees to marry him. If you elect me president, I promise to stop destroying the country. I know I've been bad, but trust me, baby, I can change. My plan to stop illegal immigration is simple. I'm going to fly all the homeless people from every third world country on the planet into our country. Every lunatic from every asylum, every murderer, rapist, and violent criminal. About 712 million people. Once all 712 million are here in the U.S., problem solved. You can't illegally immigrate if you're already here. Even Republicans have to admit that's good logic. This election is about looking forward. America is like the Titanic, and I think it's about time we had a woman manning the wheel.
We are not going back. Okay, then. Live from Times Square, it's That Kevin Show.
Somewhere in the bowels of the city that never sleeps
Kevin McCullough, radio host with Salem Media,
is a man also not sleeping.
Syndicated radio talk show host Kevin McCullough.
And that guy would like a word with you.
Many of you know him as Nostradamus.
Of course that Kevin show is going to be great. The only thing that could be greater, of course, would be that Donald show. We don't have that, so we have that Kevin show.
Featuring the music of Dick Tunney and the Dream in Color Orchestra. Just ahead, the latest from Decision 24, Ashley Hayek and Christine Serrano-Glassman. He's not your average Joe, Coach Joe Kennedy. Simon Desk Weekend, the 60-minute edit edition. Sketch comedy from Mr. Reagan and the Babylon Bee. And she has the Apple Music #1 song in the country, Megan Woods, in the spotlight. And now, from Times Square, the perfect good luck charm for New York City to score a Subway series. We mean Subway sandwich. Here's the...
What does that even mean? Subway sandwich. Oh, you mean like the chain. Gotcha. They still eat that stuff? No, I was kind of a big fan of the Subway, and then the lovely bride didn't like me going there anymore, so we had to cut that out. Anyway, hey, welcome. Oh, yeah, I've got my baseball cap on. We're in New York. It's possibly a Subway series time. Anyway, better than Yankees or Mets, get your That Kevin Show hat, That Kevin store. Very, very sharp. Goes with my tie and hanky and all the rest. Anyway, welcome to the weekend. Glad you're here. We got a lot to get to. We're just, a little more than 20 days away now. And I know that this presidential election has seemed like it's taken 4,289 million years, but it's almost over. And on November 5th, we're going to get to a point where I think we're going to have a winner. Mark it down. And then when we do, we're gonna have probably then a lot of discussions about things with family and friends, and oh yeah, that's not going to work out well. Okay, well, hopefully the acrimony will be somewhat lessened if we can just get it done. And friends, there's no one more tired of running this race than I am, but I am looking forward to coming down the stretch here. And I kind of understand what's going on with the dynamics of this race. You want to know the straight scoop about what's going on with the race. You want to really comprehend what it is. Okay, I'm going to tell you the secret. I wrote about it in townhall.com the last 2 weeks, but shh, don't tell anybody. Trump is winning. He's on his way to a win. He's winning now. And they just keep messing it up. Kamala doesn't know what she wants to be, doesn't know who she is, doesn't know what her policies are. Her own vice president, she leaves him strangled for words to try to come up with something when a football player sits down to interview him. Take a look.
74% of voters said the past year they've had to cut back on groceries because of the rising costs, of course. And a lot of those voters, they're concerned that they cast their vote for Kamala Harris, but she's responsible for that. Yeah. So how do you reach those voters? What do you say to those voters who may blame her for the economy right now?
Yeah, folks in the middle. Well, we talk to them about what are the policies that are going to make a difference. And we see some of the data, but data doesn't impact people in their daily lives. Go into the grocery store and you see false information, whether it's bird flu impacting eggs. But the reality for most people is if those costs are up, they want to know what you're going to do about it. I think that's why she's focusing on making sure whether it's home ownership more affordable, tax cuts for the middle class, and let's just be candid about this. There's price gouging piece of this.
Now, if you'll notice, he didn't answer the issue about higher grocery prices. Somehow he was asked a very clear question. How are you going to reach the voters whose grocery prices have gone up because they can't afford groceries anymore and they're having to forego getting some groceries each month? And he talks about home buying. This is the problem. This is the fundamental problem with Kamala and Walz. They don't know how to talk about anything because they don't have a plan and they're not telling you what their plan is. They're just going to give you more money. They're going to say, well, we're just going to print it. We're going to give it to you from the Treasury. If you buy a house, if you do this, if you do that. But that's only going to go so far. And that's not going to do well for the economy. Instead of saying, let's rediscover energy in America. Let's give tax cuts back to small business owners so that they can hire more people. Let's do the things that would watch the economy become white hot the way it was in the Trump administration previous to the COVID breakout. The COVID breakout ruined everything for everybody, everywhere. But prior to the COVID breakout, we had the hottest, fastest growing economy. Jobs were being added like you couldn't believe. Manufacturing jobs were being added like you couldn't believe. And people weren't having trouble buying their groceries. That was not happening on Trump's watch. And in this same interview, Coach Walz then tries to pivot and go, well, you know, if Trump had done a better job, then Kamala wouldn't have had a mess. And Strahan had to say, he said, look, I may be a football player, but I can tell you for sure that is not what happened. At the end of the day, these two have no clue what they're doing. They have no clue what to offer in terms of a plan. And the best that their team, if you think of political parties as football teams, the best they've come up with is to take the two octogenarians that are on the bench and say, okay, guys, you did it once before. Let's throw Bill Clinton and Barack Obama in there and you go get them. At this point, I'm openly speculating that the Democrats would probably have had a better chance of winning this election if they had left Biden on the ticket. Because I don't think the second debate, he would have been as bad as he was in the first debate. But aside from the fixed debate that she had with the anchors kind of on her side, aside from that, she's been a disaster. And all you have to do is see how the polls are now starting to kind of lean back towards Trump, and not just in the popular vote, which he's in danger of winning. How crazy would that be? I mean, it's not so crazy because the Republicans have more registered voters in the country now than the Democrats do. They just passed them this year. You know why they passed them? Because you had a Democratic administration that was ruining everything. But not only do they have more registered voters, they also have the right position on the issues. And you're going to see people win congressional races. You're going to see people win Senate races. You're going to see Trump maybe put into contention cities like Detroit and Philadelphia. He announced this week he's going to do a rally in the heart of New York City at Madison Square Garden. They would never have spent the money on those resources to bring him to New York City and take time off the campaign trail if it wasn't in play. And here's the strategy, guys. And let me just be bare knuckled honest about this. He's competitive in these cities because African Americans and Latinos and women and people that don't traditionally vote for Republicans like the fact that he's done it once before and he can do it again. That's what they like. And he's drawing people to his side. He's got Democrats on his team, Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr. He's got independents like Elon Musk. He's got America Firsters up and down the ballot. He's got a unity ticket that looks like the Unified States of America. It looks like the way the country, his party and his ticket looks like America. Hers doesn't. Hers looks like some communist utopia that never existed. And her thing is, I'm going to give you an opportunity economy. Well, that doesn't give me lower grocery prices, which was Tim Walz's big fail in his soundbite there. Anyway, Kevin McCullough, we got a great show for you. Just ahead, Ashley Hyatt, Christine Serrano-Glassner, Coach Joe Kennedy is with us, and in the spotlight, we've got the #1 song in the country, Megan Woods. You're going to love it. It's going to be great. Lots of sketch comedy as well. Stay with us.